I don't know how many of you are familiar with Barbara Dooley, but I think most of you probably are. Her husband, a pretty famous football coach there at Georgia, Vince Dooley, and she has a great ministry of her own. She does multiple speaking engagements, cancer survivor, and she is joining hands with Hearts of Hope to raise money. This is a ministry called the Foundry that we're familiar with, and this is a recovery program for women battling addiction. And how about this? Barbara Dooley is joining us now on the show. Barbara, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. But, it's not just for women. We've got men in recovery, too.
Right. But Hearts of Hope is a luncheon for the women's part of their ministry. But you're right. Yeah, I'm very.
I was going to say though that most men drive us to drink.
Oh, well, you can speak to that, can't you? But
Barbara, we're glad to have you on. We've heard you on various shows over the years, but this is the first time we've got to have you on. This is Bubba, and we're just really excited to have you here.
Bubba, I am so thrilled to be with you. I am happy to be anywhere in Alabama, sweet home Alabama.
Yeah. Now, Barbara, when you do a lot of events, and when you go to speak at an event like this, what are some of the things that you talk about?
Well, I try to keep it very upbeat.
Right.
But I think the most important thing to me is to have a relationship with Jesus.
Yep.
And know that he will keep you on the straight path if you keep your eyes on him and not on anybody else.
Well, if we can just get that right.
First things first.
Right? Everything kind of flows from there, and I think so many times people try to get that backward, and they wonder why they're not making any progress. So well said.
Well, I do a lot of fun speaking, but it's always Christ-centered, and it's always centered on being the best that you can be. And, God has given each one of us so many great gifts, and so many of us don't use all the gifts he's given us. So that's kind of where I go in my speeches.
Yeah, and Barbara, I think, too, we ought to be the happiest people on earth. I mean, not that we, have a perfect path, but, with eternity set up, then everything else we ought to be able to work through, shouldn't we?
I think so, but it's hard.
Oh, yeah,
well, and I know some people will get angry with all of us, but I know you well enough for your personality, and I know these guys. I'm not sure how concerned we would be about that, but if you don't have a Christ-centered recovery program, I'm not sure you've really recovered from anything, because until that's resolved, I don't know what's been accomplished.
I agree with you, and I think the Foundry does such a great work, and I'm so thrilled that they have invited me to be a part of this fundraiser. It's the 10th annual luncheon, and I'm hoping that we can pack the place with women.
Well, it's a great room, too. It's at the Cahaba Grand. Those of you in the Birmingham area that are listening to us or watching there, it's going to be at 10:30. When they open up the marketplace, and you can go in, you can get your table, and you can book those now. We've put all this in show notes at rickandbubba.com, but if you go to foundryministries.com or just go to our show notes at rickandbubba.com, everything for the February 10th luncheon with Barbara will be there, and the goal is to raise $125,000, so let's get that done.
And you know what? There's nothing better than to start at 10:30 in the morning shopping and eating. Two of my favorite things.
Yeah, because they're going to have a marketplace there, ladies, and you go into a little shopping, have a little lunch, and then Barbara speaks to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day, so come on out and join us.
When you look at, you've spent a lot of your life in football, and I know you probably talk about some of that when you speak too.
I do.
When you look at today, picturing you and Vince dealing with the state of college football today, you think you guys could still do it the way you did it?
Well, I don't know that we could, but we sure would be rich.
Yeah, man.
They'll write a check today, won't they?
I look at all these contracts, and I look at him, and I fussed at him for quitting. I said, you could not stand to make a lot of money. You quit right when it was coming in.
That's funny. So do you miss football, Barbara, or do you still get to see a lot of it?
Oh, we watch it. We're at every game. Let me just say that I was thinking about this not long ago. I've had two boys that played football. I've been married 55 years, and for 55 years almost, I've been to a football game every week during football season.
Oh, yeah.
And then when my boys played, from the time they were in grammar school, I was at a game on Thursday nights, Friday nights. Vince would coach on Saturdays. So I've seen a lot of football in my lifetime.
You have seen, my mom is a coach's wife too. She said the same thing. She was like, and I remember laughing, and we talked about it on the air the other day. She said, being a coach's wife, when you hear people saying they think a blowout is boring when your team is winning, she goes, hey, as a coach's wife, these are our favorite games. We love blowouts.
That's right. I loved them. But I was going to say Vince's first contract in 1963, $14,500, and we thought we were rich.
Oh, buddy, you thought, how will we spend it all?
Yeah, how will we spend it all? And now you cannot get a babysitter for $14,500.
Yeah, I know it. That is the truth.
Now, I know you put the book out, Put Me in Coach, about, talking about what it was like as a coach's wife. And I'm telling you, I think you got to be called to it. I see these young women that probably come to you and come to my mom, and my mom will say, look, there's a calling here, and some women are cut out for it and some aren't.
Yeah, you got to be a tough woman to put up with it, let me tell you. But coaches today really aren't like the men we married. They do kind of do a lot of things around the house. Your dad and my husband probably were focused football coaches, and that's all. They were like Coach Saban.
Yeah. And when I see the way he's doing things in modern time, I said I can relate a lot more to how he goes about it.
Yeah. Coach Saban is the old-time, grinded-out coach. And let me tell you, that football game between Clemson and Alabama was probably the best football game I have seen in a long. Neither one of them should have lost.
It was a beautiful game. It was, and because I remember, my dad, and probably I don't know, maybe later in life, my dad didn't know about golf. He was like, "What do you mean golf?" And I was like, "Yeah, a lot of coaches play golf." He goes, "Really? I that never even remotely crossed my mind."
Yeah,
when was I going to play?
Golf.
Yeah.
Right.
When were they going to play? They breaking down film.
Yeah, you don't want your football coach to be a good at golf. That means you're spending too much time doing that.
Yeah. Barbara, we don't want to give away any of Vince's secrets, but at any point during that 55 years, did you ever suggest a play to him and he actually used it?
Oh, I've suggested many plays. In fact, one year we had fumbled. We had almost broken the national fumble record for our school. It was so bad. And he came home before the last game with Tech, and I said, I've got the greatest idea for you. And he went, what? He said, I'm in no mood for great ideas. And I said, if you will get your offense to line up with their backs facing the defense, that way, when they drop the ball, they'll be in a better position to recover.
How did he take that?
He did not think I was cute at all.
And I bet one year it was easy. You kept saying, "Honey, give the ball to Herschel."
Yeah.
That's right.
Let 34 run it.
Yeah. That's right. Give it to 34.
Do you? Yeah, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. You finish.
No, go.
I was going to ask you because, things were so – you're talking about things being different. And I tell people this all the time. Nobody knew who Herschel Walker was until he, had a miraculous run as a freshman. There was no 5 stars, press conferences, swapping hats. And you didn't know who these people were till they actually did something on the college field. Did Vince know he was special?
Oh, yeah. He was like – a major factor in high school ball, but he was in like Division III.
Right.
And so, we started recruiting him when he was a junior, I think. And every school in the country was after him. Yeah, so we probably lived with him.
Well, you knew with his size that he had the potential to be good, but did you have any idea going in that he would be the highlight film that he was?
But then again, I wasn't the coach.
Right. Well, that's true. Well, we thank you for being with us. I know you got other things you've got to do, and you're doing a lot. How many speaking engagements are you doing a year now?
Well, I cut it to 2 a month. That's my max.
Okay, so
I'm
you're still
good.
you're still
Still
knocking
on
out
the road,
24 dates a year though. So that's still
Right.
that's still a lot.
Yeah.
If you want to see Barbara, you can. By the way, if you want to know more about them, you just go to BarbaraandVinceDooley.com, FoundryMinistries.com for those of you that want to see her at the Hearts of Hope, the 10th annual luncheon and marketplace. Ladies, get in and shop. You have a great little brunch there, and then Barbara Dooley will speak to you on February the 10th, raising money for the Foundry, and this one is going to specialize over on the women's side for women who are in recovery, battling addiction. Cahaba Grand Conference Center, Birmingham, Alabama. Details are at rickandbubba.com under the show notes as well. Thanks a lot, Barbara, for being with us.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you later.
All
Thank
right.
you.
There she goes, Barbara Dooley. Go to BarbaraandVinceDooley.com if you want to find out information about where she may be speaking somewhere that's nearer to your market, because as you can tell, she is a blast.